Hello everyone and welcome to Maths Magic with Lucia. So for today's video I'm gonna be a mathematician and you may think, what's that? Well, it's a combination of maths and magic. Mathematician. For today's video I recently read a book which I found quite interesting. It's called The Magic of Maths from Murderous. The book has many tricks inside of it, all of them which are explained. And for the purpose of this video, I just chose two of them, which I found quite interesting. There's many of them. It could take me like 5 hours to explain them all. So I just chose two. One of them, it's quite easy. It can be done on the go. And the second one requires much more preparation and practice to be done. But both of them, I found them quite fun. So let's have a look at them. Here we go with our first trick. For this trick, I'm gonna use my magic hat. It actually gives me magic powers. I'm gonna ask you to think about any number. So think of a number. Can you then multiply that number by 2? Can you add 6 to that number? And then can you divide that number by 2? Finally, can you subtract your original number from it? And let me think. Is the number you got to 3? Thank you, Hat. That was amazing. Okay, let me show you how that trick works. For this trick, you are asked to think about any number. Suppose that number is x. You were then asked to multiply that number by 2, add 6, and then divide that whole number by 2. You were then asked to finally subtract your original number from it. If we then cancel, we observe this 2 and this 2 go away and this 6 become. We then say this becomes x plus 3 minus x. Therefore, this x and this x go away and our final number is 3. If we observe the trick, we can see it can be easily modified. So, the final outcome depends on this number here, 6, which if instead of 6 we had chosen 8, our final number would be 4, as it's the half of the number chosen. If instead we chose 10, our final number would be 5. And this can be done with any number, and you can have the final number you want. So that was the first trick. For the second trick, we're gonna use a set of cards, from which we just need 27 of them. The trick, it's called the 27 card trick, that's why we only need 27. And for the purpose of this trick, I'm gonna ask for a volunteer. Now we're gonna ask for a volunteer.
Hello, how are you?
Hi,
I'm doing
how are
here.
you? So you're gonna be my volunteer for a magic trick.
Cool.
So for today, I'm gonna ask you to choose a card from the pile of cards. If you show the card and then put it back on the pile, that would be great. Done?
Okay.
Right. If you had to choose a number between 1 and 27, which one would it be?
6.
6. Next number. Can you please tell me in which pile is your card?
In this one.
Okay. I'm gonna do this 2 more times. Can you please tell me
In this
which
one.
one? Thank you. And for a final time. you please tell me in which one is your card?
In this one. Middle one.
Right, so you said your favorite number was 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
Amazing. That was the second and final trick. Thank you to my volunteer. And I'm going to show you how it works. The aim of the trick is to get the volunteer's chosen card into the position given by the number chosen between 1 and 27. The volunteer was asked to choose any card from the pile and then give us a number between 1 and 27. It could be any number. In this case, the volunteer chose number 6. The cards were shuffled and then placed into 3 piles, each one with 9 cards. And the volunteer was asked to have a look at the piles and choose in which pile was his card. The magic of the trick is on how we decide to place the piles of the cards for our next deal. To start with this trick, we're going to subtract 1 from the chosen number, as we need as many cards on top of the chosen card for it to be in this position. Our chosen number was 6. If we subtract 1, it's going to be 5. Let's have a look at this. 6 minus 1 equals 5. When our number 5, we're going to divide it by 3 and remember the remainder. We are then going to divide the solution by 3 again and remember the remainder. And then finally, we're going to see what is left. Let's look at it. If we divide 5 by 3, we get this is 1, remainder 2. If we then divide our answer by 3 again, 1 divided by 3, we have our solution 0, and we have remainder 1. And then we see what is left. It's 0. This setup, it's an easy and fast way to do it mentally while you're performing the trick, but it has actually a deeper mathematical explanation behind it. If we look back at our setup, we observe 2 and 1 were the given reminders when we divided the numbers by 3, and then 0 was the leftovers. This number actually corresponds to the base 3, 3 to the 0, 3 to the 1, and 3 to the 2. Therefore, number 5, it's simply 2 times 3 to the 0 plus 1 times 3 to the 1 plus 0 times 3 to the power of 2. This is 1, this is 3, and this is 9, such that number 5 is simply 2 plus 3 plus 0. Which, as we wanted, it's 5. If you want to perform all this mentally while doing the trick, it will take us a while. Which an easy way to do it, it's just simply by subtracting 1 to our volunteer's chosen number and then dividing by 3 our given solutions and having the rest over. Simpler. But it's also interesting to know the actual maths behind it. Once we mentally perform these calculations and remember the remainders and the leftover, we can then start the trick. For this trick, 0 means the pile with the volunteer's chosen card goes in the top position, then 1 means it goes in the middle place, and finally 2 means it goes in the bottom place. Once we did the calculations for the volunteer's chosen number, we then start to place the piles in the following way. For number 6 was 2, 1, and 0. We therefore observe the first pile will go in the bottom place, the second one in the middle, and finally in the top place. After the 3 deals, we then count up to the volunteer's chosen number, in this case 6, and we have the volunteer's chosen card. We can actually do this for any number. So for example, we're going to look at number 24. Looking at number 24 now. If we subtract 1, we get number 23. If we then divide that number by 3, we have it 7, remainder 2. Given an answer, if we divide it by 3, we then get it's 2, remainder 1. And finally, the leftover is 2. From these calculations, we observe we have 2, 1, and 2 as places for our piles in our trick. If we look back at our base of 3, to go into the deeper mathematical explanations, we observe 23. It's simply 2 times 3 to the power of 0 plus 1 times 3 to the power of 1 plus 2 times 3 to the power of 2, which is simply 2 plus 3 plus 18. Therefore, we have 23. In the case of volunteer choose number 24, just like this setup, we would have the first pellet to go in the bottom position, and the second deal would go in the middle position, and then for a final deal, it would go again in the bottom position. And that was a second trick. It has a deeper mathematical explanation, but basically with 3 calculations. If you remember the remainders and the leftover, you can get any card into any position. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Now you know 2 new tricks which you can do to families and friends to get their heads spinning around. Hope you had fun watching this video, and if you have any other tricks which you would like to see in future videos, just leave them below in the comments. Also, if you have any feedback on what you liked or didn't like about the video, I would really appreciate it if you could leave it below in the comments. See you soon in future videos with magical tricks and their maths behind them.